The presentation box to put the frog in is really quite simple to make. There's only a few elements to really put together. There's 6 of them here, in fact, and you've got the 2 lily leaves which make the base and the lid, the lip of the lid and the 2 sides. So as ever, what I've done is I've cut out everything, scored it all, and as with our cat basket, pre-score the dotted white line before cutting everything out. It makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to start by making the actual lid itself. So there's 2 lily leaves. One is just slightly bigger than the other. So if you use the bigger one, just put them on. You'll see which one it is. So we'll use that and the 2 strips here that will form the top of the lid. So the first thing we've got to do now is just glue these 2 strips together. You can see the lines there. So a little bit of glue on the end tab there. And stick that on. And just bend it over. Put some glue on that end tag. And this way we can keep everything... Just pop it there. We can keep it all straight as it dries. So a little bit of glue onto there. Bend that in on itself. That should then just line up on the end section there. Let that dry, and that's going to create the lip of the lid for us. And when that's dry, if you get your pencil, we can again just hold it, pull it underneath like this, and create this more circular twist to the paper. And especially on those joints, you should be able to just bend those just to help it when it comes to putting it onto the base. But pulling that will just create a little bit of tension on it, and there we go. We get a nice circular shape to work with. It just helps it on its way, and we're going to match that up now with the lid part here, which is the bigger of the 2 pads. And by pushing these in, I just find that just helps with the gluing. In fact, once they're in position, just pushing it down and getting it nice and tight just to keep those there. So it's a case of gluing this now, and it's a bit like the cat box. It's just a case of working around and sticking those tags on, so it's a little bit of gluing at this stage. So I'll go on now and just put the glue on all of these tabs here and a little bit in the lip of the lid ring that we've just made, and then I'll come back and we'll just slot that over and glue it all into position. So with my glue now all around the tabs there, I'm just going to pop this lid over the top like so, and then it's just a case of pulling these back against the edge, a little bit of squeeze, and just sort of forcing it all into shape, as it were, to stick down. You can see it's going to take a little bit of jiggery pokery just to get it all into the right position. Just pull that up a bit. Try and work as cleanly as you can as well. This glue does tend to run all over the place, so I know it can be a bit problematic. That just comes up, and that base will fit. It seems that it's a little bit tight, but it will. You just have to pull it up and it will fit within there. Like so. Okay, and as that begins to set, so lots of pressure on those tags go round, and that will then create the lid for you. We just flip it over, we can see it like that there. Okay, so this is the same technique for the sides and for the base. We'll have a look at those next. So the sides of the gift box here are just really the same as the lid, only just wider. So we have 2 sections. We're going to glue those just like we did for the band that went round the base of the lid. Just come up to the line, a little bit over it so it just hides it there. Just some pressure on that, and then give that obviously a few moments to dry. Flip it over and we've got that trailing edge there. So again, a bit of glue along there, and just match that up to it, and this way you can keep everything nice and square. There we go, and that's got to dry off now, and then we'll put the pencil through it, round it up, and then put that onto our other base. So I said, when that's dry, you can now just pull and twist with your pencil underneath to help create a little bit more of a circular shape. Just makes it easier when you're putting this down onto the base part there. Just keep giving it a tug and working, if you can, onto those seams which are a little bit problematic, and eventually you'll get a much more circular shape. So with the base here, remember that's the smaller of the two, we use the larger one for the lid. There isn't much in it, so be a little bit careful. Similar technique as we've just done. I'm just going to put loads of glue on here and then just offer that up to it and push the tags around onto it. Okay, a little bit of glue around the inner lip here, and obviously locks on those tabs there. This one just slides on over, a little bit more awkward, and then just begin gluing, pressing those against the side, and just work my way round now, sticking these tabs on, and it will eventually all just fall into position. So I'll go on and do that now for all of those, just like we did for the lid. Now, to help the lid slot on and off a little bit more easily, and really to help with the gluing as well, what I've done is I'm putting a little strips of this, what I call the Magi tape, back around the lip here, just to hold those tags back in. Okay, my box is ready, the lid's sorted, so now what I can do is just pop the little chap into there like so. Make sure he's at his lowest point so he's not sticking out too much. And then I said that Magi tape really does help, a bit of sellotape around that lid, just so it slots in, it smooths in nice and easily. Then we've got our lid on the top, and we've got, as I said, this lovely gift box with our frog inside, so we can take the lid off, and there we go, inside this wonderful card. And this is quite robust, you'll be able to pick him up, pull him out, and some lucky persons who loves frogs is really going to enjoy this rather special card, as I like to think of it.